Hello, hello. Um, all right. Hey, you guys, and welcome to another call today. I want to talk about winter and skin because many of you have been sharing with us that your skin definitely feels different in winter. And so I want to address that because there's a lot of things you can do to improve your skin, meaning that it doesn't have to feel so dry and so brittle and undernourished. So let's talk about that. And there is five major things that can really impact your skin. Um, so we're going to be talking about food sensitivities. We're going to be talking about how hormones impact your skin. We're going to talk about hydration, both in your body as well as actual hydration of the air that you're having. There's a lot of obviously heating that's going on in most people's houses right now. And then I'm going to talk about a couple of products that I recommend, and then let's talk about stress also impacting your skin, because you might see that connection there as well. So before I dive in, I just want to let you guys know that there's a new regulation that Amazon and like various platforms like Amazon and Shopify. So like our store, Welena.com, is actually set up on Shopify, and we are not allowed to sell anything that contains NAC. NAC is a wonderful amino acid that is a precursor for glutathione. You might have heard of glutathione as being the master detoxifier. Unfortunately, we are not allowed to sell that anymore moving forward. And so, which is really sad because it really is not a prescription item. And there is a direction that FDA is going to make it a prescription item. And so we unfortunately have to do a very sad clearance sale. And so Detox Support is a wonderful formulation that contains NAC, amongst other things, that helps with liver detoxification. And if you follow me for a while, you know that your liver is hugely important when it comes to metabolism of a lot of hormones, including estrogens. Not to mention that you feel so much better when you do something around your liver. You feel a lot more energized. A lot of people report much better sleep. Your skin gets clearer. Speaking of skin today, your eyes, you might see your eyes becoming a lot brighter. So there is never enough that you can do for your liver to support it. So if you are interested, then the clearance sale is going on. You're getting $10 off. We just need to get off the platform. So sad clearance for us. Good news for you that you can score this pretty quickly. So Kamalani has posted some links on the other platforms, and Susan is asking, my liver enzymes are high for the past few years. The product will help. Absolutely. So, and Susan, the other thing you might want to look at, combining it with whatever supplement you're using. You always want to combine it with a really clean diet. And when it comes to elevated liver enzymes, if you're talking about a non-alcoholic fatty liver, then definitely reducing sugar consumption and alcohol is gonna be a huge relief for your liver as well. All right, so let's talk about skin today, because I know many of you struggle with skin. So maybe as you're listening right now, so for those of you who are asking for the link on Instagram, I suggest you go to welena.com. So it's WELLENA.com. And it's right there on the main page. It will take you there too, or just look for detox support. It's right there. And by the way, besides NAC, we're also using other things there, like vitamin C. We are using biotin, zinc. There is also a molybdenum in it. We're also using green tea extract, turmeric in it, grapeseed extract, and vitamin E. So really nice combination. All right. So how many of you here are struggling a little bit with your skin when it comes to winter? I certainly feel a difference in my skin when it comes to winter, but I also want to share with you that skin health is something that is hugely personal to me, because actually that's really what put me on the path to doing this work. Many, many years ago, I had horrendous acne. So I still have a bit of scarring. You probably don't see this right now because I'm wearing a bit of makeup, but it's I still have those potholes here, and so I used to be covered right here. I had it on my chest, I had it on my back, I even had it on my buttocks, which is so embarrassing. And and ever since probably ever since I was 12 or 13, when the pimples really started coming out, what happened was I started to try every single application I was aware of, right? So I tried so many different types of herbs. And then it came to a point where my father took me to a dermatologist, and the dermatologist told me that this was in a different country than the United States, but basically she suggested to go on medication I had to sign a waiver that I cannot get pregnant during this time. So you could just imagine what it does to your body, your hormones, when you are put on something like that. So I refused. And instead I went through years and years and years having, and trying all sorts of different things topically, trying different herbs, Chinese, Western herbs, and nothing was really helping. And then I think when I was 28, one of my really close friends was getting married, and I was in a bridal party, and she designed these dresses for us that were pretty low cut here, but they had completely open back. And I said to her, "There's no way I'm going to wear this dress because it is really embarrassing." And you can cover up your acne somewhat on the face. It's very difficult to cover it on your back, on a front. And I had cystic acne, so they were like little volcanoes, right, popping out everywhere. And so this was where I thought to myself, I'm 28 years old. I'm not a teenager anymore, right? Like, I should not be having acne as an adult. And this is, and mind you, we didn't have the amount of resources that we have today. So back in the day, it was like Yahoo search. And I went on Yahoo search and I entered acne solutions or something like that. And this article popped out that said, acne in adults due to bread. And I was like, what? That's just so bizarre. How can food possibly affect my skin? And it turned out that I thought, you know what? I've got nothing better to try at this point. So I took gluten out, and half of my acne disappeared. And then not only my acne disappeared, but also my headaches lifted, my energy went up, I wasn't as swollen, and I always had a very disdented tummy, which again, I always thought that was normal. And then just, my energy started going up, my clarity of, my mental clarity has improved. And I was like, this is really interesting. But only half of the acne went away. So I thought there's another half. Obviously, something else is causing more problems. So I did food sensitivity testing. But mind you, back in the day, 25 years ago, it was an extremely expensive test, especially when you're 28 years old and you're really earning not very much money. And it showed me that eggs were my issue. Dairy was somewhat of a problem. And so I eliminated eggs, and eggs completely cleared out my skin and took a lot of symptoms away as well. So I'm sharing this with you because I think, we are very much conditioned to believe that when you have a problem with your skin, it's something topically you apply, right? And is going to go away. As much as, I laugh about this, but I'm just being truthful with you, is that it's bad for my business to say that other things than a product can help you, but it's true. I also don't want to be one of those who be like, take this supplement and take this skincare product, and it's going to take all your problems away. Your skin is going to be beautiful, and you're going to have no acne and no dry skin. That is not true. And so products, and I'm going to talk about a couple of products, can make a difference in how your skin feels. I have found over the years working with women with dry skin, and it's not just on the face, but also dry skin on their hands, as well as women with rosacea, with psoriasis, with acne, with just dry skin. I have found that topical solutions is a nice adjunct to a solution, but it's not the core solution. I have found over the years, Kathy is saying water, water, water. So we're going to talk about hydration for sure. I will say though that even when I was 20, when I'm telling you my story of when I was 28, I drank plenty of water. I lived in a tropical country back then. And so I was a big sports person. And so water and hydration and electrolytes were a big part of my solution. Yet I did have a lot of acne, and I did have a lot of dryness around. Again, like coconut oil, using somebody saying coconut oil. Again, it's a topical solution. What do you need to understand? That your skin is a reflection of what is going on the inside. Acne, dry skin is a form of inflammation, a struggle, or dehydration that the body's experiencing it. And yes, it could be due to dehydration, but it also could be because of food intolerances. So I want to address that because, one of them is if you want to get to the root cause of a problem, you need to eliminate the root cause first in order to see the results, right? I think that's why you were here, and you are, and you you want to kind of have an alternative point of view on things rather than just be um, believing in everything that's in the mainstream media. So what can you do when you have a lot of dryness? So the first thing is, I would really advise you to embark on the elimination diet, meaning cut out gluten, dairy, and eggs as the first three biggest things, and they've been highly connected to dryness in the skin. I want to share with you guys a story of my sister's story. So you know how it is. I'm sure many of you have experienced this here before, where when you embark on this journey, you discover certain things are working really well for you. You start well, you may start preaching, or you might just start advising and start dispensing unsolicited advice to people you love the most, the people you care about the most. And what do you get in return? Like this, right? Like, don't tell me, I'm not gonna do this. And so a major pushback. So this is exactly what happened to my sister. I've been working in this industry for a long time. And I remember saying to my sister has horrendously dry skin on the face somewhat, but her hands were so much so that I still remember she had like this roll of skincare products for her hands, right? Skin moisturizers and like everything from some weird stuff from Africa all the way to just stuff that she can get hands on in more commercial places, and nothing was working. And then for some reason, not because of my advice, mind you, but because she figured out on her own, she went for she basically eliminated gluten, and gluten was her main problem. Her hands are beautiful. She always used to say, I'm a working mom. I do a lot more stuff in the kitchen than you do, saying to me, right, that I don't have 3 kids like the way she does. And I will totally agree. However, she even started wearing gloves, and still with the gloves, she couldn't make it work. So the hands were really dry. So she started the elimination diet. She cut out gluten, and guess what? Her entire dryness of her hands completely went away. She barely uses any hand creams. I just returned from Poland. I was there for 5 weeks due to my father's illness. And I can tell you right now that she doesn't have a single cream on her cabinet. And once in a while, when she listens to these lives, she pops in and she's like, yep, that's true. So I don't know whether that's going to be tonight, but so anyway, so that's what I really want to urge you. Your skin, again, is a reflection of what is going on the inside. And so the simplest thing you can do is eliminate gluten, dairy, eggs, and see how it impacts you. And most likely, when your skin improves, there's a lot of other things that's going to improve in your life as well. It could be your energy. It could be your sleep. It could be weight loss. I mean, anything that's caused by systemic inflammation in a body, right? We're going to be doing more talking about doing the elimination diet in the coming weeks, and so stay tuned for that. The other thing I want to just mention, that since I'm on the skin topic, and it's not just dryness, but also some of you might experience an elevation of rosacea during this time, as well as psoriasis flare-ups. Both of these conditions are actually autoimmune conditions. So it's the own immune system that is attacking the skin, and that's what's causing the inflammatory result. And so, like with any autoimmune conditions, the autoimmunity and flare-up of autoimmune flare-ups begins in the gut. Fixing your gut by eliminating foods that are highly inflammatory is going to be a first step, and I can promise you it's going to be one of the big ones. If it doesn't take away all the dryness and rosacea and acne, then you can just wait then you can start implementing the other things that I have to share with you today. So, all right. So there's a couple of people who have tried this already, and so I'm just going to read Lynn's comment. She says, thank you. 2 years into acne, finally just cleared after 2 years of clean diet, FS testing, hormone testing, gallon of water daily, mud mask. Now it's disappearing. Awesome. So, and so I'm wondering, when you say clean diet, Lynn, what does that mean? What does it look like in terms of, and she said, I was a reptile for years. And she said, I listened to this lady do the work. You guys listen, do this work. So I'm curious to know what exactly you mean by a clean diet, and what have you eliminated in order to feel better. And thank you so much for sharing. So let's move on to, All right, come here, good boy. All right, got somebody at the door. Delivery rather. All right, so let's talk about let's talk about the second part, and that is going to be, so the second thing that really impacts. Quiet. I'm on a call, please. Thank you. All right. Let's move on to the next one that I want to talk about, and that is going to be your hormones. So your hormones can play a huge role as well in your quality of skin. So the major one, the bigger one, I would say, well, is your thyroid. So a lot of people with low thyroid function, women would experience dry skin, and it will manifest on your, more so, not so much on the face, but it would manifest more so on the hands, as well as especially having very, very dry legs, and especially on your sheens. And so having itchiness around your sheens is one of the symptoms actually of low thyroid function. So I'm not going to talk about thyroid function today because it's an extremely long topic. But you can go to hormonesbalance.com, and we have a ton of hormone resources there, thyroid resources for you, so you can see where you can get started. Again, thyroid is also a big topic for me because I had Hashimoto's disease for a number of years and had to reverse that. And so, and certainly felt the difference in my skin as well. The other two hormones that can impact your skin, and it's more, not so much about the dryness of the skin, but more so about just how plump your skin is estrogen and testosterone. So testosterone starts dropping naturally as we age, and so does estrogen. And what would happen is estrogen is the builder of your of just, you know, not just your skin, but also your muscle strength comes from testosterone and from estrogen. And those coming down can result in us having sagging skin. So this is when you're beginning to see like, oh, it's not as plump as it was before, right? You know, things begin to drop here. You start having these very subtle lines around your neck, right? That can often be due to testosterone and estrogen's drop. So testosterone, you know, there isn't much in the food itself that you can do. Women produce testosterone in our adrenals. So supporting our adrenals can make a very big difference. Estrogen, there's two things I like to do to naturally increase your estrogen levels. The first one is by incorporating 2 tablespoons of flaxseed into your diet. You can put that on top of salads. You can add them to your smoothies or just have it in a glass of water. But I don't recommend to cook that because of the oil. The omega-3 is very sensitive to. So that's got flaxseed has got the highest amount of estrogens, phytoestrogens in all the foods. The second one, which is an herb, is red clover. And so having red clover in a form of a supplement or in a form of a tea every day, which just makes a really, really lovely tea. I get my herbs, dried herbs, from various places, including I get mine from Frontier. That's Mountain Rose Herbs. And there's one more I'm forgetting, is a co-op. So you can just Google that or just look at Amazon. Anything that's organic is really wonderful. I'm going to, again, use my sister's example here. My sister started having hot flashes. She's a year and a half younger than me. And so she started taking red clover, and it's helped her tremendously. And then during Christmas, we've had a lot more stress, a lot more alcohol, a lot more dealing with my dad's stuff. And she ran out of the supplements. She didn't go and buy it. And so her hot flashes came back. And hot flashes are typically is a combination of low estrogen and high blood sugar levels. So, which is very typical during a time of, you know, of times like that, like such as Christmas and New Year's. What helps with testosterone, Karen is asking. So testosterone in women is produced by the adrenals. So supporting the adrenals the best way you can. And we have various resources. If you go on hormonesbalance.com at my website, that we have a ton of resources about how to support your adrenals through supplements and herbs and sleep. That's a big one for adrenals. So, and of course, if that doesn't work, you can work with a practitioner on using things like DHEA that converts to testosterone. You have to be very careful with those, and you need to be managed and tested regularly, especially if you have cancer history in your family, estrogenic cancers, because testosterone and estrogens, testosterone converts to estrogen. Estrogens, depending on how you're breaking them down, they can be, you know, if they are not breaking down favorably, that can lead you down the path of developing estrogenic cancers. And so you're going to be really careful. That's why in our store, I don't sell estrogen nor testosterone or DHEA, because I feel like it's something you need to be monitored, and do hormone testing every 6 months to a year to make sure that you're breaking down those estrogens into the clean estrogens and not dirty estrogens that can be highly problematic. Okay, so back to skin. So just to repeat this part of it, thyroid can cause a lot of dryness in the skin. Testosterone, estrogen can be causing sagging of the skin on the face and everywhere else. Some of you might find, like, when you really start to go low on testosterone, when you work out in a gym, you used to build muscle, now you can't build muscle anymore. That's a low testosterone. So let's talk about the third point about what is going to help your skin quality during winter. I'm going to have just a quick sip of my tea. Helen is asking, if I have rosacea on my face, should I avoid eggs? Yeah, in fact, Helen, you should do the full elimination diet. All my books are based on the elimination diet, so you can find them on Amazon. So rosacea, like I said, is an autoimmune condition, so eggs are definitely going to help. And if you haven't cut out dairy and gluten yet, then I would highly recommend to do that, and you're going to get a lot faster results that way too. So let's talk about, many of you have mentioned already, hydration. And so I cannot agree more. Hydration is a huge part of having your face feel really, really well hydrated. And I want to give you, again, a little anecdotal story here about my, I used to, my ex-boyfriend. And so we have very good friends still today, Brad. And Brad has, he's 60 today. And so completely doesn't look it. And he attributes one of the reasons why he looks so young to the amount of water he drinks every day. But it's not just water. He did an experiment where he drank water, like he's a big guy. So he drinks like 2 quarts. You don't have to do that. I think a quart is enough, but he wasn't just drinking water. He added up electrolytes to it. Why electrolytes? Like we think of electrolytes as being something we only add to water when we do sports and we are severely dehydrated. We go to a really hot place and we are sweating a lot. Actually, in winter, you're also losing a lot of water because of the heating system in your house, right? And so you just don't even feel it. I'm on high elevation. I'm at 75 feet above sea level. So that's about 2,500 meters above sea level. So it's pretty high. And we get dehydrated here even faster, right? So every time you breathe, every time you talk, you lose water, you perspire, even in your clothes, you might not feel it. So hydration during winter is actually a lot more important than you think. And not just drinking water, but adding electrolytes to it. The simplest way to do this is to add a touch of salt, like half a teaspoon to a quart, with a touch of cream of tartar, which gives you potassium. If you want to go a little bit more of a squirt from a bottle, then there is a product that we have in our store called Mineral Restore. And that's electrolytes together with a lot of other minerals in there, that really help you to boost your energy levels. So I highly recommend that, not just water. And if you're not drinking enough water, then one of the really good tips is a couple of things. One is get yourself a bottle of water of a quart and make sure you get through at least 2 of these, if not 3. And let's talk about what is sufficient hydration in just a second. And then a couple of things that helps. First of all, knowing how much you've drank is really important. If you just go and sip on a bit of water here and there, you don't really know how much you ended up with. And it's surprising how many people actually really drink too little water. Now, how do you guys feel? Do you feel like you drink enough water? Do you know how much water exactly are you drinking? I use a quart. So this is, half a quart, right? I drink a 3 quarts, so bigger than this. It's always on my desk or somewhere where I work. And I make sure I get through 3 of them every day. Now, the hydration component is not only for internal, but is also for, let me talk about I don't drink enough water, says, so there's many of you admitting you're just not drinking enough water. Yeah, so it's easy fix, right? I was just gonna say one way that you can also make drinking water a little bit more palatable, if that's not your favorite thing, is to do a squirt of apple cider vinegar into it, or if you have like those healthy sodas, just having a squirt of that, it just flavors up the whole water and makes it to taste so much better. Another thing is drinking alkaline water. No, so I don't recommend alkaline water because alkaline water alkalizes your stomach, and we want to have a highly acidic stomach. So the answer is actually, I think it's just one of those marketing scams, to be perfectly honest. So no, your blood needs to be alkalized. The rest of your parts of yeah. So anyway, I'm gonna go down a rabbit hole on that one. You want to have an acidic stomach, so alkaline water is a no. So how much water should you be drinking is really simple formula for that. The old one said that if you take and forgive me if you're in Europe or Canada, if you just take the formula and you do your calculation later, okay? So if you are, whatever is your weight in pounds, so for example, if you weigh 120 pounds, the old formula said take half of that. That's going to be your ounces of water required. So if you're 120 pounds, you should be drinking 60 ounces of water every day. This formula has actually now changed to taking 75% as being more reasonable. And I would say especially so in winter when we tend to drink less for whatever reason. So if you're 120 pounds, do 75% of that. That's your ounces of water that you should be drinking every day. Let's talk also about air. Another thing that can be really super helpful is having air humidifiers in your house. That's going to also help your skin tremendously when it comes to dryness. Okay. So there's some other questions about ovarian cysts. Can I recommend and invite you to check out my website, hormonesbalance.com, and then search for ovarian cysts or PCOS, and then we have a ton of resources there. In fact, the other thing you can do is check out my book on Amazon. There's a whole section there for PCOS and specific protocols that you can do to address that. So today I want to talk more about things that impact your skin. So let's talk about skin. I want to talk about indoor and outdoor skin solutions for the winter because they are slightly different. So if you're living in a cold place like mine, like me, where on the inside I'm blasting heating, it's not even like that hot. It's about 70 degrees in my house. It's not like super hot, it's not that warm. It's just, I think, reasonable. But I can definitely feel it on my skin. And then when I go outside, right, it's windy, it's cold, it's sometimes below freezing. And so how do you manage all of this? If I put something on like, let's say an aloe-based moisturizer indoors, I can't use it outside because any water-based solutions are gonna really be problematic if you go outside with it and it's cold, because aloe is water-based. Water-based solutions are gonna freeze up on your face, it's gonna damage your face, it's gonna redden it, it's gonna inflame it even further. So you don't wanna do that. So what we have a solution for you is we put together the Winter Essential Kit, where you do a moisturization on the indoors. When you're in the house during winter, you moisturize your face with aloe-based solutions. And so one of our products is from Wilena is the Day Moisturizer. We have, the serum is super popular. I just ran out, so I don't have it here on me. The serum contains 15% of vitamin C, which is one of the highest in the market. Most ones will contain between 3 to 5% of vitamin C, and vitamin C is very calming, and also helps you to rebuild your collagen reserves and just rebuild your collagen on your face. But it's also aloe-based, and so it's an USDA organic product that we have, and so it's super clean. And we are submitting it now to EWG, and I'm hoping that we get a score of 1, which is some of the cleanest products, because there's absolutely nothing. I mean, it's so clean that I can literally eat it. Do you want me to show you? So this is our moisturizer, Day Moisturizer, and I can eat it. And it just tastes like, I don't know, just a little bit of aloe, a bit of fat, and I can taste the orange. So it's really that nice and clean. The other thing is, for outdoor, you want to use something a little bit that's definitely not water-based. So you don't want to find aloe or any water-based solutions in your outdoor solutions for creams going outside in the winter. And so what you want want to do is find a product that is oil-based. And so we've just added to our collection our renewal cream, so Welena Renewal. And that's a wonderful cream to use it when you're going outside, whether it's hiking, skiing, going on a bike, if you're just going on a walk. And then on the, you can also use it at night. I have found that cream to be so rich that at night when your skin really rejuvenates and rebuilds itself, it's just that's why we call it renewal, because all my team members who tested the product, we always felt like you wake up with a sense of renewal to your skin. It's a really wonderful product. So we have that in our winter essentials. You can, if you go to welena.com, you can see that on the main page. Is right up there. You can check that out. And if you're using any other products of your choice, just use the same, use the same philosophy of no water-based stuff on the outside and water-based, highly hydrating products on the inside. And when you're indoors, use something very nourishing, richer at night, because that's the time when your skin has got a lot more absorbability as well. Lastly, I want to just mention about stress. And who here feels like when you're going through a time of stress, your skin just changes? I'm just curious how many of you experience that. I personally don't. My skin does not change with stress. I get other things that stress impacts. For example, my lower back has gone out now and is not feeling very good. In fact, I'm just about to go and get a massage and a very gentle adjustment today, because even my very gentle yoga moves have not been helping me. So that's a way of my body reacting to stress. I'm curious how many of you, so Karen, for example, saying on Instagram, definitely stress is affecting my skin. Let me go over to the other side. Yeah, Adriana is saying definitely my back as well. Yeah, so it really depends on every person, is different. And so it's always interesting I think it's important to tune into your body and kind of know what impacts your body, right? And what are the consequences when you are stressed out? What are the consequences? Like I know myself that when it comes to stress, my skin is not suffering, but what will suffer is things like my back, my sleep suffers, my mood suffers, my period sometimes gets worse during this time. And I tend to get IBS, as I have a flare up of IBS for sure. Okay. So yeah, hey you guys, I hope this was helpful. And I want to say super clear and focus on skin today. But again, if you're coming in late, I highly recommend to, first of all, look at doing the elimination diet. Marion is saying stress affects my skin and hair. Yeah, for sure. Thank you. It's for a lot of women, it's hair loss that starts manifesting as well. It's and for other women is skin. So it's so interesting, right? How we all a little bit different from each other. So yeah, so thank you so much for being here today. I hope this was helpful. What I've shared with you today. Next week I'm going to be talking about supporting your immune system through this very peculiar time. And I think we have a lot of conversations around. There's a lot of mainstream narrative about one direction of how do you protect yourself. I don't think there's enough being said about how do you strengthen the host. And so we're going to be talking about strengthening the host next week, and some of the no-nonsense things that you can do that's never going to hurt you, is only going to help you during this time. All right, I hope this was helpful, you guys, and I will see you next week. Bye for now.